Welcome back to House of Oon. On today's episode, I'm going to be continuing the fit out on the inside of my canopy. So today's project is to make a slide out table for my new induction cooker. This is my new induction cooker. It's a Safari, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but it's a single burner 1800 watt induction cooker. I had quite a few people on Facebook recommend this brand to me. They all rave on about it, so I decided to go with it. It's nice and round, which I think looks very neat compared with some of the square units. So that should look really good once I've got it installed. Now, I do actually need to upgrade my electrical system to be able to run this because I'm currently running a 1000 watt inverter, whereas obviously this is 1800 watts or up to. So if I want to run this on max, I need to throw in a 2000 watt inverter. Luckily I've got that in the office ready to go. Just need to get time to fit it. Now I also do need to upgrade my battery because these things do draw a fair bit of juice. So luckily I've got a new battery waiting to go in as well, which is much bigger than what I'm currently running. And one of the things that I really liked about this cooker is that you can basically recess the whole unit except for the top piece. So as you can see, I can just cut a hole in the table the size of this main body, and then I'll just have this top lip which will be sitting proud of the table itself. Now my plans for the table, pop that down. So it's basically just going to sit at the rear of the canopy on this side. I'll be able to slide it out and it'll house the induction cooker somewhere. I haven't quite decided yet, so I'll leave cutting the hole till a little bit later. But basically the induction cooker will take up about half of the bench space, and then I'll have another half which will be free to put my food on or do my cooking or whatever. Now I'm also going to make another table which is going to hinge off that first table. So the first table will slide out here, and then the second table, which will sit on top of it when it's stowed away in the canopy, that'll then fold out to the rear side of the canopy, which will give me once again more table space, and it'll give me somewhere that I can wash my dishes, so I can attempt to be a civilized human whilst out in the bush. Now I could just go and buy an off-the-shelf kitchen setup that slides out, but they are quite heavy, so they tend to use quite heavy runners, quite heavy material. They do have a lot of stuff in them, and obviously weight is always the enemy when you're doing a canopy setup. So by making it exactly the way I want it, to the exact dimensions with the exact material that I want to use, we can get away from some of that weight and try and make it nice and lightweight. Also make it customized, because as you've seen on this car, pretty much everything is customized to what I like. So we can throw a few tricks at it, make it look a little bit pretty, and make it suit a lot of the other accessories inside this canopy. I've now got a lot of marking, cutting and folding ahead of me, so I'm just going to go jump into it. Alright, this is starting to look like something now that's got a few folds in it. Now you may have noticed that I put a few random holes in each end of this. And you're probably thinking, why would I put random holes in it? Well, it's so that I can put some bigger holes in it. And why am I wanting to put some bigger holes in it? Well, that's so that I can then dimple it. So to help me achieve all these dimples, I've got this hydraulic thingamajig tool, and it basically, you've got one set of punches, which will punch the hole that you need, and then you've got another set of machine pieces, which is basically your flare or your dimple. Now you can actually buy 2-in-1 dimple dies, so it'll cut the hole and dimple it both at the same time. However, I don't generally do enough dimpling to warrant the cost of them, so this cheap eBay kit does the job perfectly fine for what I'm using it. Now this whole process of doing all these dimples is completely unnecessary, but you know what they say, everything is better dimpled. Well, we've got the main induction cooker table all made up, and this is what it looks like with the induction cooker sitting in it. As you can see, it's a little bit proud of the table itself, but it definitely does look pretty damn neat. As for the slides, I ended up getting them from Dun & Watson. That's where I usually buy my slides from. And I also got this handle from Dun & Watson as well. So obviously when you pull down in the center, it pulls both latches down at the same time and you can slide it in and out. Now, this latch is actually designed to sit horizontal, not vertical like it is. The drawers on the opposite side of the canopy, I've set up with them being horizontal. The only downside to that is that your table then needs to be a bit shorter. And I thought, I'll try this out, see how it goes. It's definitely not perfect. You don't get a heap of room to kind of wrap your hand around the round bar, but it'll work, which is the main thing. Now, as for the cable, which is dangling down here at the moment, I'll end up running that through the dimple dyed holes in the back of this and onto some cable tracking, or I don't know, something. I'll work that out at a later date, but that'll be tucked away very neatly when it's all done. Now I just need to make the second part of this table, which folds over. Whoa! Did you see that? I'm starting to like this magical video stuff. So now that the other table part has magically appeared, let's run through what we've got. So we've just got a simple hinge setup, just with 2 stainless steel hinges. And we've got our collapsible sink, which is removable, which is nice. Easily goes in and out. That just pops down, pops up as well. And I also 3D printed some little stoppers, just 3 of them, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle, so that when it comes down, it physically can't go any lower than that. Now I still need to get some kind of strapping system to pull this down to stop it from coming up. But unfortunately, this is Kyneton, and unfortunately this is Sunday, and unfortunately nothing in Kyneton is ever open on a Sunday. So I'm just going to leave that for now. We'll get to that before the next trip. But for now, the whole system actually works pretty well. So it's a nice simple setup. Gives you a bit more table space, which is nice. So you got a little bit of table space here, lots here, and a little bit more here. And simple, push it in like so. Tuck the wiring up for now. Like so, tucked away pretty nicely inside the canopy. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room, which is nice. And I've also got the option to hang extra stuff above it if I need, or I could even use it as a bit more storage space to chuck a camp chair on there, or whatever the case may be. Well, there we have it. Nice slide out induction cooker, sink, table setup, whatever the hell you want to call it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.